Chelek Tes Zayin Sichah Gimel Purim Gimel Aleph. If them was steht in Siyam v'Chaysim for the Megillah, He Mordichai Yehudi v'Geimer v'Ratzu l'Reiv Echov Zogin Razal Gemara l'Reiv Echov v'Lei l'Chol Echov Anam Mishapirshim B'Mena Mitzvah Sanhedrin. In the Megillah it says that Mordichai Yehudi he was appeased to the majority of the Yidden liked him. In other words, not everybody was satisfied with him. And the Gemara Megillah on the Tazayin and Rebbeis learns, why does the Megillah say the Reiv Echov? To teach us that not all of his brethren, not all of the Sanhedrin were pleased with him. It teaches us that some of the Sanhedrin disassociated themselves with him. Who's Achav? Achav are Nanching Nesagdelo. Or Rashi is Mefarish, the time for was Mitzvah Sanhedrin haben sie Perish given from Mordichai. Rashi explains why was it that some of the Anching Nesagdelo disassociated themselves with Mordichai. The Fish Bittel Midibri Teda V'Nichnas L'Shrara. Because Mordichai, once he became Mishnah L'Melech, he was Mevatel Teda, and he got into authority. That's what Rashi says. Then the Gemara says, Gadol Talmud Teda Yisim Atzos Nefashis. A Talmud Teda is greater than even saving lives. The Mikona Choshev the Mordichai Bastard Dalid. The beginning Mordichai was like considered after number 4, a little bit safe. But afterwards, he was only in like place 5. As in Friedige Pasuk in Ezra, wird Mordechai gerechnet als der Fünfter. In the Pasuk, in the beginning, in Ezra, when it speaks about Mordechai, he's listed as number 4. I take a Pasuk in Nehemiah, als der Sechster. And then he's listed only Nehemiah als the 6th. You should ask Mordechai, Sar, why? Because Mordichai became a minister, and that means that once he got into that field, he is chshivas by the Chacham when he went down. The Rebbe says like this: it's not moving. At them klal as Gadol Talmud Teda Yisim Atzos Nefashis have the Chazal gekent Arislein from Pashas HaKosem and the Megillah Gufa the Reiv Echov Malamish Pirshim and the Mitzvah Sanhedrin. Was the Pirish is doch given, therefore was bittul midivri teda, it's the Batzos Nefashis. Now, this idea of Gadol Talmud Teda Yisim Atzos Nefashis, Chazal could have learned it out very simple. The fact that it says the Reiv Echov, which teaches us Malamish Pirshim and the Mitzvah Sanhedrin. Why? Because he's a Mevatel Teda. Ta farvas let das the Gemara raise when Ashini say there. Why does the Gemara learn out that it says in one pasuk he was listed as number 4, and then another number 5, and then he was listed number 6 out of order, or that teaches us that Gadol Talmud Teda Yisim Atzos Nefashis. Just learn it out from simply the Reiv Echov B'Lei L'Chol Echov. Zayadam Afarshim was entering as from Lashon in Megillah. Nor Arislein as by Sanhedrin is Talmud Teda given mehr Choshev Atzos Nefashis. So but it came by Vais as Mishamayim haben the 2 masken given. Now, some of us want to say this, that the Megillah says L'Reiv Echov, that teaches us that Talmud Teda is greater than Atzos Nefashis. That's the way the Sanhedrin understood it. How do you know that's what Mishamayim? That's their masken. If I bring the Gemara them Limud now. The Teda Gufa das Benam is given in the Mshina Asidim Psukim. Therefore, they bring the Gemaras to bring from Psukim to teach us that Hashem Himself is masking to this ideology. The Rebbe says over the tears is this answer is not so smooth. Divas Pirshim Imenu Zayin nit given Stam mentioned or Echov Chabris and Hedrin. Was in Granum Hanegosam Psakaloch Al Pi Teda. As a full fault of the Raya, as Mishamayim Miskim was asked on this portion. Obviously, whatever the Chavris and Hedron are doing is in line with Psak Halachas Al Pi Teda. So where would in other words, they would never do something if Mishamayim they were not masking. So now the question is also why couldn't we just learn out from the Leivechov base? It's very to understand. It's also very difficult to understand. If you're saying that Talmud Torah is greater than Atzos Lepashis, and for us is Mordichai's Namen, their fire was bottom of Talmud Torah, übergestellt, geworden nur mit ein Dagger weiter, und Seder von die Namen, von Bosse Dalet zu Bosse Hey. The Cheda hatte danach überhaupt nicht gerechnet werden zwischen die Chavos and Sanhedrin, was ein Inius Psak Torah. He's saying that Mordichai, he was not listed after he went into becoming a minister into office. Instead of listing him as after number 4, he's listed as after number 5. If the whole Sanhedrin, the whole idea is Psak Din, so he shouldn't be listed at all. Base. From Mashmaz Apostle is verstanden, as Mordichai's Shtara, als Mishnah Melech, hat gedauert am Meshach Zman. If you look at the Psukim, the Mordichai was Mishnah Melech. It lasted a long time. It took a long time. Was demolt is given Ratzu Blazer Rimachav, a massive of Pirshim Mimeno, is Manashach. Other Mordichai had ze bald gedarf Oivaisen, as an Hanoga is Alpitera. Mordichai right away should have showed that his Hanoga was Alpitera. Other Oivnit had gedarf Avegin von sein Shtara. So if not, he should have left his position. And then that would have happened that he would have been back and he would have been back to normal. The beer in them that sein moving von dem Deal in selben Lashon Amigila, Droshes Razal, Rotzel Rebecha, Pirshim Menen or Mitzvah Sanhedrin. Was das meint as the Rebecha of Sanhedrin? Haben ja masken gewinnt zu der Hanaga von Mordichai. What's the deal over here? Rotzel Rebecha, which means that only a little bit of the Sanhedrin were...
Up to the head.
Well, say again?
His daughter talking about eating of the head. Or he was part or either, or was not.
Okay, so we made this verstandig, the pashtas, as von dem, was Pirshim Mitzvah Sanhedrin is klar, the Tokki Raya as Talmud Torah is geresser for the Sos Nefashis. This, that the Pirshim Mitzvah Sanhedrin is not a Raya that Talmud Torah is greater than the Sos Nefashis. Adrabah. Von dem came out this, not verkehrt, you can learn out the exact opposite. Ballas zu Reiv Sanhedrin. Is a gewer Rotze that says he's mit im Bidas Achas. Over here, from the Pasuk of Rotze Reiv you see a character, you see that most of Sanhedrin agrees with him. So, which means that that's also Nefashis is greater than Talmud Torah. When the way the Zeichen was, but for us Mordichai's Namen is to leave them übergestellt, geworden nur mit ein Dagger weiter. Now we can understand why Mordichai's name was listed only one step after. Jesus Adrab, Reiv Chavos Sanhedrin haben eingestimmt mit seiner Aga. They agreed with him. But the Fizer Reshel Idachis. And now, on the other way, we have to understand. In Baldas, Mordichai's Aga is given basically mit their day for Reiv Chavos Sanhedrin if Mordichai's Hanhaga was in accordance with most of the Chavos Sanhedrin, hat sie doch gedarf machrier sein, die Idee von mir Mixas. You should have went ahead. You should have machriya the day of the mixes. Hi, for us Pirshim Mimenu on sie haben nicht bewatet gemacht, das amir gegen dem Reiv. So if the Reiv, the machriya they have the majority of the Sanhedrin agree with Mordichai, so why is Pirshim Mimenu these ones? Most of your colleagues don't agree with you, so you have to go and about your das for them. And base, late them couple days, as the zwei Ma'amoris, Chazal now, was the Gemara brings in ein Hemshech, Pirshim, Menonor, Mitzvah Sanhedrin, Kolel Talmud Torah, Yeshem, Masas Nefashis, as a Gur, Seiser, in for them Tzveitin. According to this, that the two Ma'amor Chazals, which the Gemara brings in one Hemshech, Pirshim, Menor, only Mitzvahs. Why? Because Kolel Talmud Torah, Yeshem, Masas Nefashis is Beseiser, because if you're saying that the majority agree with him, that shows us that Talmud Torah is not greater enough. It's also the Fashis. The Rebbe says in Dal, is there Kolel to get beer in the behektim nochadiak l'mamar Chazal? So to understand this, let's look into another nuance that Chazal say. Pirshu mimenu mitzvah Sanhedrin, or nit cholku olav, or akaponim ein ruach mitzvah chachamim neicher menu. What does it say? It says some Pirshu mimenu, some of the Sanhedrin like separated themselves. It doesn't say they argued on him. It doesn't say ein ruach mitzvah chachamim neicher menu chedema. Doesn't say that some of them were displeased with him. As Pirshu mimenu meant nit amachlekes, valid their day as Mordichai Zahav and Nitah B'Teira. It's not machlekes. It's not. They weren't arguing with Mordichai, saying that the way that you're acting is opposite of Teira. Nor as Yehavn sich von ihm abgesundet. What does it say? It says they separated themselves from him. Haben dich a besondere und andere derech beschitte in Anhage von Charves und Edgen. Oder Talmidei Chacham Bechlal. They separated themselves because they felt they had a different opinion in what a Chavos and Hedron should be. How they should act. They didn't disagree with Mordichai that his anaga is not al pitera. They just separated themselves because they felt that as a Chavos and Hedron he should not be acting this way. What does that mean? Die Asboren dem mit sein verstandig euch von Asibir wegen dem Rabbeschavers gein v'hanagase. Understand this by a story about the Rabbeschavers. By being them. Nachdem wie kweit Knushas Maria Chomer Admer is a reis gefahren von Russland und ankommen in Riga, hat dort verrufen an Asibir von Rabbanon. When the Friedrich Rebbe left Russia and he came to Riga, over there, he made a nasif, he made a gathering, a meeting of Rabbanim. And Hegim and Askanim, the Tevis from the Disashid. He brought all the leaders together, all the Askanim, to discuss how to help the Russian Jews. So zwischen die Eingeladen is echt geworden, the Rabbeschavers. Friedrich Rebbe invited the Rabbeschavers to come to the meeting. Bei der Asiba hat man gewollt bestimmen, Avad, was soll sich zusammenkommen, ist Mann, sich miasher sein, wie zu führen die Arbeit für die Disashid. So, by the meeting, they wanted to make a vad that should come together, and they should be the vad of how to deal with the Russian Jews. So they asked that the Rabbeschavers should be part of the vad. Hat sich aber abgesagt, oder hat Masbe gewinnt, als sein Alleingehen in vad is told in a pluksa zwischen Talmud Bavli in Yerushalayim. The Rabbeschavers said that for me to go in the vad, first of all, I can't do it. And he explained that it's a machlekes, the Talmud Bavli and Talmud Yerushalayim. He explained this. The Gemara Zakim Barachas, as Chasidim Adishenim, HaYeshayim, Teisha Shoyes B'yem B'tfilah. The Gemara Bracha says that the Chasidim Adishenim would wait, and 9 hours they would daven. For 9 hours they were daven. Fred the Gemara, so the Gemara in Brachas asks, if the Chassidim Adishenim were davening for 9 hours a day, terasei heich mishtameres u'malachtan heich nases. So when did they learn? When did they work? They have no time not to work, not to daven. The Gemara for Edford, the Gemara says, since they were Chassidim, the Torah was blessed, and their malacha was blessed. That's the Bavli says. Yerushalmi brings sich the Zelbe in nor mit Ashining. Nor on mit Ashining. The Yerushalmi says the same thing, but it's different words. Ashlad mitech shechasidim heim tenas mishtameres lemlachtam misbarach steht a idee shechasidim oisa bracha nitenes b'tirasan ubrachas nitenes b'mlachtam. So the Yerushalmi answers the same thing, but the nuances are different. The Yerushalmi, the Bavli says the Torah was mishtameres u'melachtam misbarachas. And the Yerushalmi says that through the Chassidim, they were Chassidim, through the Chassidim, it was a bracha was given, and a bracha in their work. Okay, so,
What is a bracha?
you know what a bracha is. The chilek zwischen terasam mishtameres, or bracha nitenes b'terasan, is muvan. The difference, so now the Rebbe explains, what's the difference between the two? When you say Teiras Mishtameres and Bracha Niteres B'Terasan, like this, is moving. Mishtameres mean Narsha in Talmudim Mishtakach. When you say that the Torah is guarded, means you don't forget the Torah you learned. Aber es kommt nicht zu gehen, Anayim B'Terasan. You're not gaining new Torah. Or Riffles, they can learn in them Zman, would, but they sein sich össig in Tefillah. When they sein sich nicht össig in Tefillah. So when you use Lashon Mishtameres, that means that whatever you learn in that short period of time, you remember. But you're not gaining new Torah. It's just whatever you learn, you don't forget. When you say the bracha is given in your Torah, means that you're matzliach to understand right away. You don't have to wait to say as nit nor vergessen sie nit. Das was sie lernen nor se kum zu ze zu aisaver in havanas v'dis Torah. That means that not only you don't forget, but you have an addition in understanding Torah. And then Zman Mut was they learn Zayin ze matzliach lahavan lahaskel niyad. In the short time that they learn, they're able to mamish understand right away. Das was Skaragal Pizer Teva volt if them neitik when Asach Merzman blim batera, which will be Teva takes a long more time to learn. Azay ich read down hat der Rabbi Trevor ausgeführt. Dort was wird sich baledikin in Vad that muss in Vatal sein is man mit dem. He said if I'm going to join the Vad, it's going to cause bittul Torah. And like near Shami was idea should show you chsidim haisa bracha niteres b'dasan. As if felony ideas at bother when as Allah babli. So he says, Mele, if the Allah was the Yerushalmi, fine, I'll do it. But now that Allah is the babli, I says, blows to us and Mishtameres, but by him, found the yourself and the ideas at Teda. Was there volt you can't haben then learn Teda these manims. He says, since the Allah is like the Yerushal the babli, which is only Teda and Mishtameres, that I'm not if that can and it's Mavatas and he can't Mavatar it because by the Rabbi Trevor, his whole life was Teda, everything with him was Teda, and just to have the bracha of Teda Mishtameres, but he doesn't gain extra that he's not willing to be Mavatal.